stream. It may still be sunny where you are, but it is definitely 11 p.m. here, West Africa time, and I'm so blessed to have you on my live stream. In tonight's live stream, I just wanted to have a live Q&A, especially about what we talked about earlier this morning. Earlier this morning, we went over the 5 different ways that you can be financially prepared for grant opportunities. Now, most of you probably don't think that you need to be financially prepared. However, most of these small businesses that actually get approved to debt free opportunities and grant funding opportunities are businesses who are already generating revenue. And especially if you are a business that possibly generates small revenue or none at all, but at least you have your foundations together. Having things like a business bank account, and also like having your bookkeeping and stuff like in accounting together definitely show professionalism and commitment to your development journey. So welcome in, friends. This is the evening live stream, and if you guys saw me earlier this morning, you know that I have the snuffies. Okay, so it's the allergies, it's allergy season. Okay, and I'm an allergy girl. Okay, I pick it up wherever I am in the world. So I got me some tea, and I want to continue on the tea that we were talking about earlier today. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring up some of my notes so we can do like a quick review. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to give you my usual grant spill. You guys know grants are debt free opportunities that we don't have to pay back. There's no credit checks, there's no personal information needed at all with these grant opportunities. Okay. And what I like the most about them is that we simply don't have to pay them back at all. Now, what we went over this morning 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And you guys know I'm on here every day, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We went over the 5 key points for having your financials together. In so many words, you need to make sure your financials are in order to apply to grants. Make sure, a real business keeps accurate records. And so we went into that. Grant funders want to see financial responsibility, no chaos. And if your business isn't financially structured, then you need to financially structure it. All right. Now, some of you guys live in different countries where you don't have to have like your business registered properly, or well, not properly, but you don't have to have like an LLC and stuff in order for you to get a business bank account. But for my US based businesses, y'all already know that we have to have an LLC and an EIN in order for you to have your business bank account. Now, having a business bank account shows professionalism, and it allows you to separate your personal finances from your business finances, right? And so if you're going for a grant opportunity, especially for like, let's say the famous $50,000 grant opportunity to all small Black business owners, or the $10,000 honeycomb credit grant, right? Well, you want to show professionalism, and having a business bank account will really help you increase your chances of approvals. Plus, just to give you guys an extra tip, most of these grantors, they will not give you a grant reward unless you have a business bank account. So earlier this morning, we dove deep into that. So tonight is like the grant live Q&A. So going over my grant spiel, that's what I'm doing, and then we're going to get into it. If you guys have any questions, and welcome in, hey, don't be scared. Come on in and say, hey, this is all about small business grants with this debt-free capital you truly don't have to pay back. And it's free money, essentially, that you literally can just win. So you can get these debt-free opportunities, these grants, and I've been writing grants for 10 years. I have a 71% successful grant writing rate. I literally travel the world, do so many different things with grant funding. Okay. And then I've also won millions of dollars for other small business owners, medium enterprises, tech companies, agriculture companies, and so much more. Right. So I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And I've been on YouTube talking about this stuff for the last 6 years. Okay. So giving you guys nothing but free game, free information, things that I have paid thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn. And I'm giving it to you all for free here on YouTube. Okay. So grants, these are debt free rewards you don't have to pay back. No credit checks, no personal information needed like your date of birth or social. And what I like the most about them is simply you don't have to pay them back, right? So they're not like traditional lending opportunities. They work totally different from loans, lines of credit, and credit cards. You guys know, like loans, lines of credit, credit cards, you have to provide so much of your personal information. You have to give them your bank account statements because they want to check all your finances, personal finances. And then sometimes you have to provide them with some sort of assets, especially if you're going for like one of those 150K like loans or better, or even $50,000 or more, right? So they want to know if you have assets that can potentially cover when you don't pay back the loan, line of credit, or credit card. Well, in the grant world, you don't have to worry about that. But they do want to make sure you are financially responsible. So earlier this morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we were talking about how to be financially prepared, even as a startup, and how being financially prepared really does show professionalism, and it helps to show like that you are financially responsible. Now, hey, how y'all doing? Welcome in. Now, with these grants, you don't have to pay them back. No credit checks, no personal information needed. Grants is a debt-free reward that you can get from any business entity. Sorry, you guys, I have the stuffies. Okay, so I already said that earlier, but I had to let you guys know who are coming in. Okay, so you can get these grant-free, debt-free rewards from a business entity. So think of a business entity like Sephora, right? Macy's, Amazon gives out a $10,000 grant every month. Walmart gives out grants. You have DoorDash, Uber Eats, right? These are all places, even Famous Amos, right? The cookies, Famous Amos, they give out $50,000 grants right now for small Black businesses. They usually do it around this time, which is quarter 1. Now, you can get a grant from any business entity. And what's so good about getting grants from these businesses, these big businesses, is that it is not federally funded. So, whatever's going on in politics, you don't have to worry about that affecting you getting a debt free opportunity like a grant, accelerator program, or incubator. Yeah, whatever happens in politics. But with these big companies like Famous Amos and Procter and Gamble and whatever have you, that they're giving out grants, well, this helps them out on their taxes on the back end. I mean, imagine being $100 million plus revenue generating company, and your taxes are like crazy. You can't buy jets forever, right? You can't buy a whole bunch of jets and a whole bunch of stuff like, big assets forever, right? So, in most cases, what they do is they give out, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in on an annual basis in rewards, charitable gifts is what they call it, which is grants. So, you don't have to worry about what's going on federally, none of that stuff. Listen, there will always be a grant out here for you, a grant opportunity for you to have capital to start and scale your business. Okay. You can also get these debt-free opportunities from like your state and local governments. So this is kind of like paid by like taken out of some of the taxes you pay to your state, if you pay state taxes. And then also this comes from different donators and sponsors. So for example, they might be giving out $10,000 for any Latino owned business in El Paso, Texas, right? Or they might be giving out $10,000 grant to Black veterans in Fulton County, Georgia, right? So those are area specific. Those are what we call more solid grants. As a certified grant writer, we can never say that there's a guarantee that you will get a grant. So I have to say it's more solid. And with those like state and local grant opportunities, these are more of those first come, first serve type of opportunities. So it's very important that you check your local small business development center. You can go through the SBA, you can visit grants.gov, or you can go to grantwatch.com and you can find grants in your local area. And then if they are specifically through your county, right, or through your state, then go for it, right? Because if you don't apply to it, which in most cases other small business owners aren't applying to it, and they don't even know about this opportunity, well, your chances of winning are much higher versus going for like the nationwide grants. Now, then you have the what do you call it? The grants that you can get from like private sectors. So Hello Skip and Hello Alice, right? These are nonprofit organizations that give out, grant funding opportunities to small business owners. They use their income, right, or income from like donators or sponsors to their nonprofit that will give us small business owners some capital to start and scale a business. All right. So that's like Hello Skip, Hello Alice, the Fearless Fund, Black Ambition Prize. You guys might know some other grant writers that are giving out grants, right? Like Coach K has one. There's so many other mentors that are giving out grants and stuff too. Okay. Now, there's so many different ways that you can actually win a grant, but I'm here to tell you, friend, that there's no 100% guarantee. But with like any other opportunity in this world, there's no 100% guarantee that you will win any opportunity. That goes for a job opportunity, that goes for loans, lines of credit, and credit cards, and so much more. You could have built your personal credit, but sometimes the bank just simply doesn't have money and they don't have a professional way to tell you, we don't have money, so they will deny you. So it's very important to understand that every opportunity you go for, there's no guarantee. Okay. But with these grants, why not give yourself a chance at winning? All it takes is time. They're not taking any of your personal information. They're not running your credit, so you don't have any like credit inquiries on your credit report, right? So there's no dings to your credit. And the only thing that you're paying, right, essentially is in time. But don't stress yourself out when you are applying to these grants. Apply to one grant a day so that way it can be easy on you. And applying to one grant a day allows you to eventually in 1 month apply to 30 to 31 grants. And on average, if you apply to about 30 grants, then you'll most likely, most likely 30 qualifying grants, you'll most likely win at least like one or two out of them. Okay. So that's kind of like the general ratio. But if you don't apply to 30 of them, then you might miss out. Like it might be grant number 21 that you might win. Right. So you need to like consistently apply. Um, and then also each grant has their own different turnaround time. I know that you guys are used to traditional lending opportunities, right? Like loans, lines of credit, and credit cards. Whereas if you put in an application for a credit card, sometimes it's instant. You might get a, hey, congratulations, you are approved to like a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 credit card. And then sometimes it's like a 7 day turnaround time. But in the grant world, how it works is that once you submit the application, each grant has their own what we call a grant timeline. I dive deeper into this in our grant classes on Sundays, so you can always join us on Sunday. It's just $3 a month for you to be a member, and we dive deeper into it. So, with these grants, right? Again, the grant timeline, each grant has a different timeline. So, for example, the Honeycomb Credit $10,000 grant is for all startups, no matter what race, gender, ethnic group, or sexuality you're a part of. Also, this grant is for all small business owners and startups, no matter what stage you are in your company. So, you can be a business that has not generated revenue or a medium enterprise that has actually generated revenue, right? Um, and then it's also for any type of business, right? So it's not business or industry specific. Now, the timeline, this grant came out February 2nd, and the deadline date for applications is April 2nd. So you had all that time. You have February, whole entire March, you have by April 2nd, right? So just a couple days away, couple like 2 weeks or so away, right? And then so with that being said, on the actual day, the day that they're actually choosing winners is April 11th. So that's their timeline. Now you have some whereas like I went over this one time, the $2 million tech grant through NSF Seed Fund, that's a 7 month process, but it's a $2 million grant. And within the first 30 days, they want your what's called a pitch deck. And once you submit your pitch deck, then they will determine if you can go to the next round. The next round will be you submitting a full proposal. And then it takes them 6 months to review your full proposal to determine if you are a good candidate for this opportunity. Now they choose over 400 startups, right, annually for this $2 million grant. So if you deliver a really clear, concise, compassionate, and a thorough pitch, as well as proposal, your chances of winning or your chances of potentially getting this opportunity are quite high. Okay. All right. So you guys know there's about grants. There's a grant timeline out here in these streets. Okay. So it's not really a quick turnaround time, but on average, what you want to do is give the grantors at least 30 days. All right. At least 30 days after the application deadline date to let you know that you were selected. So if the deadline date is April 2nd, you want to give them at least by May 2nd to let you know if you are selected. All right. That's just like generally speaking. So, where do I find most of these grants? I use grantwatch.com. I've actually walked you guys through it here on YouTube. So, I encourage you to watch some more of my old past live streams within the last week or two. And I show you guys how to use Grant Watch. Now, Grant Watch is $18 a week, or it's $45 a month. Now, it's definitely worth it because it will give you all the grants that's in your area. So industry, and also industry specific. So what's in your local area in your state, industry specific grants. So if you are in transportation, if you are in helping out the homeless, if you are in a consulting business, if you are into arts, if you are into whatever have you, you can find whatever grant. It can be medical, whatever grant you're looking for, you'll find it there. And then also you can find a grant that is targeted towards you as an entrepreneur. So if you're a veteran entrepreneur, you can get a grant. If you are a Black business owner, right? They have grants, a list of grants there for you. Now, this is what you call a grant search engine. So this is grantwatch.com. I'll say it again for everybody who's new, grantwatch.com. Now, this particular grant search engine, you would use it simply like Google, okay? And you will put in all the filters that serve in your favor, and then it will populate how many grants. It will be hundreds of grants that are available for you. Now, what you want to do, if you are doing like the $18 a week, well, you have limited time. So you want to go ahead and create your own grant list. I showed you guys earlier this morning how my grant list, I use a spreadsheet, I use Google Sheets. Some of you guys can use like Excel spreadsheets, but create your own spreadsheet, a list of grants with the grant link and the name of it and a little bit of information about it, and as well as a deadline date for the application. So you can reassure yourself on how many grants you're applying to, and you can actually use this grant list to go through and apply to one grant a day. I'll do you one better. If you are a startup and you are currently looking for some capital, you're trying to generate some revenue, well, create a grant list specifically for your particular business industry and sell that grant list through like Etsy or any other e-commerce site, allowing yourself to generate some sort of revenue now. You can sell the list for like $10, right? Every month, sell a new list. Before you know it, it's through e-commerce. You might have over 100 people buy it. There you go. You got some money, okay? Now, okay. So, and I talk about that in like my Sunday live streams, how you guys can create an extra stream of income just based off of this information that I'm giving you. So, you know what a grant is, you know how to search for grants, you know, the timeline for it, right? I could tell you the number one reason why most small business owners do not win grants, and it's simply because you guys don't read, right? And reading is quite fundamental, especially in this grant world. Not only do you need creative writing skills, which is you need to increase your vocabulary, make sure your spelling and grammar and punctuation is properly placed and professional, but reading, right? Reading is very, very vital in this process. See, you don't depend on someone on social media like myself to give you all of the game. No, this is free game. So the free game is supposed to put you on the pathway to actually you doing your due diligence as an entrepreneur and diving deeper into the information that you now know. That's just simple. So now that you know this free game, I do encourage you to go to grantwatch.com, create your own grant list, right? Possibly sell it and create an extra stream of income for yourself, and also generate a debt-free income line of income for yourself by applying and winning these grants. Okay. All right, cool. So you guys have any questions about, now I'm going to open up the floor for questions for like 15 minutes because I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time this evening. And also, it's 11 p.m. where I am. I'm West Africa time. So what's going on? Hey, where are these requests for proposals located that you speak about? Requests for proposals are, each grant has their own request for proposal. Not every grant requests you to do a grant proposal, provide a pitch deck, provide a business plan, or to do a full proposal at all. Like the um, $10,000 honeycomb credit grant. All it asks you is one question: what would you do with the $10,000? But it thoroughly states on there. It says you need to be very thorough because they like to see an outline of how you would use the $10,000. That's it. They don't want you to provide a business plan or a pitch deck. So yes, there are grants out here that you don't have to simply, put in any business plan or a pitch deck or anything like that. So, free game, yes, awesome. Um, no one's business model to use keywords in your proposal search. Um, okay. Yes. No. I don't know. I don't know if you were asking a question or just making a comment. Thank you. Just get that. I just opened my LLC. I'm receiving my EIN number. Not sure what to do next, but listening. Yeah, I mean, uh, so I talked about this the other day in my other live stream, but be sure to create or develop it's called like a revenue generating business, right? So, in other words, just put your business out there. Simple. Whatever your product or service is, you need to get some sort of reviews. You need to start putting yourself out there. Experience is the best teacher. So if you don't put your product or service out there, no matter how you think it sucks right now, then you won't be able to know whether or not like your product or service is needed in the market. And so that's one of the key factors when we're talking about winning grants. They want to know, how will this grant be impactful for you? Well, you can show meritness by showing them proof that you've actually caught sales, or you have some reviews and you possibly went out asking people, hey, would you like a service or product that's like this? And then you got probably like a couple of customer reviews or, surveys, right? You did like surveys and they probably said yes. And then what happens is you can say, well, I've taken a survey of over 100 people in my local area, asking them through like Facebook, asking them in person, and if they would like a service or product like mine. And I've gotten some really good reviews. And with your grant opportunity, I'll be able to invest into the product development or the service development, which will solve this problem that I'm so compassionate about. Okay. So, in other words, just do the business. When I started as an entrepreneur 10 years ago, I started in credit consulting. Now, before I started you know, making lots of money from it or even getting my LLC, what I did was I had to try it out first. You know what I mean? Now, there you have an LLC, so you're already ahead of the game. But this is before I even got the LLC because I had to prove to myself that one, I'm ready for this entrepreneurship thing, and two, that what I have, my product or service, is needed in the market. So what I did was I learned about credit. I learned about financial literacy, right? I learned about how to develop credit. I learned about how to repair it, things like that. And what I did was I started on my own. And then I started with my family, like my mom and my sister, and then my best friend. And then my best friend went to her friend that she knows. And then it went on from there. And then after I had made my first $1,000, I knew this is it. So making that first thousand really does prove to you yourself that you have something here. So what I advise is just go ahead and put yourself out there no matter what. Do it scared, do it ugly, do it unprofessional right now. And I promise you, God is going to bless the journey as long as you put God first, though. Okay, so you got to pray about it. All right, so Sandra says, I was just making a comment to gather your data because time is money when using paid search engines. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so any other questions about grants and stuff, you guys? Oops, this has been fun. There we go. It's literally fell in my cup. Mm-hmm. This has been fun, you guys. What grant questions do you guys have? Sorry. Yeah, it's important to have a business bank account too. I talked about that earlier. I encourage you guys to watch my live stream from earlier. It's not too long, and it really dives deep into how to increase your chances of approvals here. Most of these small business owners, they like to fund already revenue generating businesses simply because it shows that the grant can go towards growth versus like full startup. Because what if like you're not good at selling your product or service, right? And sometimes it's not like because so many people are in the mindset of, oh, I need capital, I need capital, I need capital. But it's like, have you ever like actually, you know what I mean? Like, do you know how to handle 50K, 100K, 200,000, 250K, or what you're asking for? Can you show proof that you've been able to handle that, right? In the business world, not personal, right? Because this is not personal funding. This is not personal grants or anything like that. This is for small businesses, right? So they want to see that you can actually use this money, right? You can actually use it for good and not just use it to fund your lifestyle. That's not what they're here for. That's not what they're trying to do. They want to make sure that the grant that they give is going to be impactful. So, what questions do you guys have? You have like another 5 minutes. Hey, 88, welcome in. I got me some tea this time. It's grant tea time. I like that. Grant tea time. It's peppermint tea for to help with my snuffies. Yes, you guys. Grants is a beautiful thing. And it's actually like quite needed. I feel like now more than ever, especially in 2025, with so much going on, like with the banks and politics and stuff. Like I said, you don't have to worry about what grants, you don't have to worry about what's going on in politics that will affect your opportunity, no matter what race, gender, ethnic group, or sexuality you're a part of. There's always going to be a grant out here for you. And no matter what stage you are in your business, you can get a startup grant. You can get a grant to help, you know, for payroll. You can get a grant for so many different ways, right? So many different things. So it's really good opportunities that you guys should go for. And personally, if we're talking about debt free funding, what my favorite debt free funding is accelerator programs. Yep, I talk about that in my $37 course. And by the way, I'm still applying to the $10,000 grant for you guys. So if you want me to apply to the Honeycomb Credit $10,000 grant for you, then you just purchase my $37 course. All right. The link is in the description of my live stream from this morning, and I'll put it in the description of this one once we're done. All right, I'm a sole proprietor that already generates revenue. Should I now move my funds to a business bank account? Yeah, and also you should get into having an LLC. And the reason why is because a sole proprietor is just a fancy professional word for side hustle, side gig, and you are not fully committed to the process. A limited liability company means you are completely liable to whatever happens in this business, which means you are fully committed to the company and the development process. So instead of just being a sole proprietor, what I advise is that one, you get your LLC, because for the big banks, the good banks like Chase, you got to have an LLC and EIN. So once you have your LLC, and I think you already said you do. Yeah, you said you just open your LLC. So since now you have your LLC, yeah, just go to a bank. My favorite is Chase Bank, and if I was to choose a credit union, it would be Navy Federal, right? So, but if you don't have access to Navy Federal, then go for Chase. I like Chase because Chase has a really great, solid way of comforting their clients in fraud protection, as well as like they're really good about giving opportunities. I mean, JP Morgan Chase has an outstanding investment portfolio across the world, which allows us as members to have a lot more opportunities than your usual, like Bank of America or whatever, or Wells Fargo. How much does it cost to start a small business? I know it depends on the business. Example, transportation business. So yeah, it definitely depends. But on average, if we're talking about paperwork, like $300 to $400, depending on what state you're in. In a transportation company, depending on what you're doing, for sure. Because if you're doing a box truck, then you don't have to, spend a lot of money in getting like a semi truck, which is probably like on average like 80,000 plus. So you can possibly get a box truck, or if so it all depends. You have to actually do the numbers. And yeah, right. So I wouldn't know that. You actually have to do the numbers yourself. It's your business. I can't tell you like how much it's going to cost for you in your state. So yeah, good luck with that for sure. Yes. What other questions do you guys have? I guess I'm not like a business. I guess I'm so happy you guys trust me, but I'm not a business encyclopedia. Okay, I know about grants. I know about grants. You need to have a website established first before you can apply to grants. You're applying. Okay, so hey Jacqueline, welcome in. So not all of the grants request you to have a website. However, having a website does increase your chances of approvals. Imagine you requesting $50,000 and I am looking to learn more about your company. Well, we live in a digital age now where everybody Googles. You even Google pizza near me. You Google everything near me. So because we live in a digital age, it's only fair that you actually make sure that you have yourself properly, professionally prepared, and commit to your brand awareness by having a business website. When you purchase your domain through GoDaddy.com, what's so cool about GoDaddy, and this is not a sponsored ad, but I like GoDaddy because it's very like easy and to comprehend and to work through. But they give you a free website, right? And then you might pay like 84 bucks annually just for you to like connect your domain with it. So in total, you're not even spending $200 for the domain name, as well as creating your own website and connecting the domain together and having it fully protected and having a professional business email address. Not this mycompany@gmail.com. No, it will be info@mycompany.com, right? You need to have a professional business email address. And yeah, just having those things do increase your chances of approvals because you're committed to the development process and your brand awareness. Professionalism is key because it is business. This is not your personal thing. You know what I mean? Even though it's your business, it is not like it's business. It's business. That's it. Hope you feel better for. Oh, thank you. I feel great. It's just the allergy. It's allergy season. You know what I mean? Even me being all the way out here in Africa, I'm still on America time with the allergy season situation. Okay. So yes. Any other questions? Yeah. And most businesses that I win grants for, they have all of their business set up properly. Like all of their business foundations are properly put together. They have a they have their LLC, they have their EIN, they have their business website, they have a professional email address, they have an address that's separate from their home address, even though you guys can still you can use your home address if you're doing like a home office. Yes, you can, but they prefer to do a virtual address if anything, because they don't want nobody knowing where they stay, right? And then they have the business bank account, and then they have a business plan, and they have a business pitch deck, and then they have P&L statements. So all of these things matter, right? It's more than just having an LLC, EIN, and a business bank account. How are you properly set up? And can you show that you actually have goals that you want to reach? What is your mission? What is your vision? What is your values? How do you solve a problem? And what makes you so innovative and so different from everybody else that's solving the same problem? How do you go about doing things? Can you show meritness? Like, do you have any customer reviews? If not, can you show that any skill development? Have you invested into your training or anything like that to develop your skill? Especially if you're doing something like pottery. How many pottery classes have you taken and do you have a certification in it? Like, you know what I mean? And then also, like, why should we shop with you? Why should we give you a chance? So yes, it goes. You have to start thinking, right? You got to think deep. You got to think deep. All right, you guys. We are in the last 2 minutes. Any other questions? Did I take zinc? Well, I'm in Africa, so I take some totally different. Yeah, every ingredient out here is supernatural. So I'm literally drinking peppermint tea, but the peppermint tea that I'm drinking out here is not what you will experience in the US. Everything's organic out here. So trust and believe. I don't even have a cold. It's just allergies. So when tomorrow comes, I'm not even going to have this tomorrow. Seriously. I literally put a fresh lemon in here and peppermint. So that's it. Yeah. the way I eat out here, and I'm actually visiting the US April 18th. I'm going to be there for 1 month. And so when I come back to the US to visit my family and to, like, see you guys and stuff, um, trust and believe I'm not eating meat. I'm back on my pescatarian diet. Um, if that, lots of fruits and veggies, the best way I could. And yeah, I'm going to miss the food from out here in Africa. All right. I'm definitely going to miss it. So that's why I'm only spending 3 weeks in America, in Babylon. And I'm coming right back to the promised land. It's like, oh, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Like literally, first week out, as soon as I get to the US, I plan on fasting a 7-day fast. The spirits y'all got walking around there is crazy. It's the devil's playground over there. Respectfully. Respectfully. You guys like it. You guys love it. Cool. Cool. All right. Cool. Not everybody can afford to come on this 19-hour flight. I totally get it. All right. So it's fine. I get it. I get it. Me, for the sake of doing God's will, I'm out of there. I've been living outside of the US for the last 4 years. So I've been living abroad ever since then. I'm not new to this journey. All right. So if you guys have no further questions about what we just went over, I want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. This Monday evening. And yeah, you guys can always book one-on-one consultations with me for tailored support. The link is in the description. It's $100. Super worth it. Gives you clarity and reassurance on some execution steps you need to be taking. And then yeah, watch some more of my videos if you want some more free information, free game on how to search and apply to grants and increase your chances of approvals. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your night, Monday night. God bless you all, and thank you so much for joining me. See you soon. Bye.